Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and today Apple announced its next event called One More Thing. You can see this on apple.com, and I don't think any of us were expecting it this soon, but it's on November 10th, 2020 at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or 1 p.m. Eastern Time, since I'm on the East Coast of the United States. Now, it's the same time if you watch the last events and you're somewhere else in the world in a different time zone. It's the same time as those previous events. And so this particular event really hints at, I think what we're going to see is the new Apple-based Silicon Macs. So Apple said earlier in the year they would be releasing new Macs with their own chips in them instead of Intel. And so I think we're going to see that. But before we talk about what to expect, if you go to this event and you tap on it, you can see an augmented reality little animation here. You'll see it says move the phone to start, or you can place the object yourself. But I did a little screen recording since I'd have to tilt the phone. So you can take a look at it here and I'll show you what it looks like. So we'll hit play. And what this augmented reality icon is the Apple icon with some colors around it, and it stands up. You can kind of move around it, and then after a little while, it folds back down or lays down. I spun it around on the table, and as you can see, it stands up here, and it's got a bunch of different colors out of the bottom of it, and then it will fold shut like a MacBook. So I think this really hints at a MacBook, and I think we'll see MacBooks at this event. And that was one thing I was going to talk about today, regardless if they sent out one of these invites or not, and that was we expect these MacBooks pretty soon. In fact, according to Apple Track, there's been a lot of different devices out of stock, including the higher-end 13-inch MacBook Pro models, and they're sort of set to ship on December 2nd right now if you try and order one right away. Also, we're seeing similar things with the 21.5-inch 4K iMac, which is pushed back to December 3rd for shipping, as well as the highest-end 27-inch 5K iMac, which is showing a late November ship date. So if we go into apple.com and we go to the Mac section, and maybe we want to buy this new iMac, we'll wait for it to load here, and we'll just scroll down, and you'll see it says, well, you can order today, but it delivers later this month. And usually Apple has these in stock, but it says it's currently unavailable at the local Apple stores. So normally they'll do that when they have something new coming out. So we could see anything from 13-inch MacBooks all the way up to iMacs, and that sort of surprises me if they do that. There was an earlier news story this week that said we won't see new iMacs until the first half of 2021. But either way, we should see new 13-inch MacBooks to replace the current MacBook lineup, and there's rumor that there might be going back to these sort of butterfly keyboards. Now, I personally have never had an issue with them, but they've had so many issues I'd be surprised if they do this. Hopefully they keep the new scissor switches, since most people prefer typing on those, but I expect a 13-inch MacBook with a touch bar with Apple's new silicon in it. And so we should see amazing performance. In fact, if you saw my iPhone 12 Pro video, it was edited on an iPad Air, basically using Apple's A14 CPU in iMovie. It was able to export that video in under the time it took to record it. So under 10 minutes, it was able to export 10-bit HDR footage. And if you've ever tried to export that sort of footage on any sort of Mac, including a Mac Pro, it can take hours. So to see it do it in 10 minutes, that would be incredible, and I would love to see the new chipsets in the new MacBooks do the same thing. Now, other than that, it's possible we could see AirTags, although there's some really mixed information about that. And then also, AirPods don't seem to be making an appearance there, so it's kind of strange we won't see any of those. I think this is going to be just Mac-focused. So new Macs, which is one of my favorite things, not just iPhones, but I love to see what they have for new Macs. And if it speeds up editing and all sorts of other tasks, I can't wait to see what they have. So of course I'll be watching that, and I'll do a video after they've completed the event talking about everything that's new and announced. Now, other than that, the other day, Apple rolled out Apple One. That was a subscription service that combines all of their different sort of subscriptions into one. So let me show you, since I'm subscribed to it. If you go to Settings, then you go to your name. Now you can see here's Apple One. It says free for 1 month, Premiere 1 month, and then renews November 30th. When it renews, it will automatically cancel my subscriptions to Apple Music and then roll it into this one. The same is true with any other subscriptions you had. So you'll see with Premiere, it's $30 a month or just under that. With Apple Music for up to 6 people, these can all be shared. Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, iCloud, News, and then soon Fitness Plus will be added too. So all of those things are combined, of course, individual. You get all of those for the price of what you would get basically what you would get just music for before. So you can get all of that. And then you can actually bump your storage up to 4 terabytes if you still subscribe to iCloud storage. So you have those options. Apple rolled this out. There was some confusion around it, but it looks like it will cancel everything but your iCloud storage automatically later on. If you have free trials, I'm not sure how they're going to handle that, as they haven't really said. Now, along with Apple One, Apple also launched an AirPods Pro service program for AirPods Pro manufactured before October 2020. So if they were manufactured before that and you have crackling or static issues and noise cancellation issues, they should have some fixes out for it so they work a little bit better. You can trade them in. They'll just give you new ones or they'll repair them. And so check if you're having that issue, see if it's under warranty, and see what you can do about that, since I know quite a few of you were complaining about that. Now, also, Apple is apparently getting ready to launch new AirPods Pro that will look a little bit different. So instead of having the stem on the end of the AirPods Pro, they'll be more rounded off, similar to Samsung Buds. The stem is nice, but I know a lot of people prefer the other look, so maybe it'll be touch and be a little bit more comfortable in your ears as well. So we may see those a little bit later, but we may not see those until 2021 at this point. Also, Apple has apparently delayed their Apple Studio headphones. Now, whether or not they're actually going to release these this year or not is hard to say, but according to Mark Gurman, we may not see any of these updates until 2021. So that, along with maybe a midline HomePod, we may see that as well. Now, as far as iOS 14.2, I know a lot of you want to know when it's going to release, and I thought it could release as soon as today. But I think since voting is tomorrow in the United States for the presidential election, I think we'll probably see the update on Wednesday. That seems to make more sense to me. The RC, or release candidate, usually is the same as the final release, but we'll have to wait and see what Apple does with that. But I would expect it Wednesday, if not right after the event next week. So we'll have to see what they do as far as that goes. Other than that, Apple also released today watchOS 7.1 release candidate. So the final version of that, unless they find some extra bugs, is out right now if you're a beta tester or developer. Now, as far as the iPhone 12s are concerned, iPhone 12, apparently if you have problems with the camera and you want to swap it yourself, the camera module is not swappable with different devices without Apple's configuration tool. Whatever they have to configure specifically, there is no way to just swap them yourselves. There were some videos testing this out. So someone took 2 different iPhones, swapped out the components inside, and the cameras would not work. So there have been components in the past, such as Face ID, that won't work because of security, and you need that configuration tool to fix it. But apparently you can't do it with the cameras now in the iPhone 12 series either. Now, one interesting thing found in the code is some references to reverse wireless charging. My friend Steve Moser found some of this, and some other people have mentioned that there are mentions of reverse wireless charging in the code of iOS 14.2, and that the components for that are already in iPhone 12. So maybe in the future we'll see a MagSafe adapter that we can reverse wireless charge our AirPods with. Now, I've used this feature on some Samsung phones. It's convenient, but I don't really find I used it very often. But I think quite a few people would use it. Maybe you're in class, your AirPods get low, you could put them on there and charge it while you're doing a voice recording or a voice memo with your phone. I think that would be a good scenario for that, and hopefully Apple just simply activates that a little bit later. So that would be something to see. That would be really nice. Now, also, Apple is still working on a folding phone. According to Patently Apple, they found some patents relating to stronger displays. Apple's working on trying to find more crack-resistant and stronger displays that have better scratch resistance as well. And then finally, something I know a lot of people would like to see is a under-the-screen fingerprint sensor. So apparently Apple's still working on that, and it may come as soon as 2021 with the iPhone 12S or 13 series, whatever they name it next. So we may have one. It works really well on some other phones I've used. It would be convenient, especially if we're still using masks. Of course, they could put it in the power button as well, like they did on the iPad Air. But either way, I would love to have that as an option, just to press your finger on the display, unlock it, and be good to go. So hopefully we see all of those things fairly soon in the future. So that's it for all of the information this week that's come out, and I'm really excited about that Apple event. I can't wait to see what Apple has in store. Maybe they have some surprises again, and I would love to see that if some things haven't leaked and we don't really know everything about it. I can't wait to see what they have and to see how well the new Macs perform. So as soon as I can get my hands on those, I will, of course, and do an unboxing and test it out and everything else. If you'd like to get your hands on this wallpaper, of course, I'll link it in the description like I normally do. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.